Hi, welcome back to another 213 in 2013. This is Shannon Tidwell, Garden Girl at Two Peas in a Bucket. If this is your first time tuning in to a 213 in 2013, just a quick recap that myself and a team of other garden girls have a new video for you each week with 4 to 5 prompts. So by the time that we're finished with 2013, you should have a list of 213 creative prompts to get you going on your next project. As you can see in the sneak peeks that you're looking at of this layout that I'm creating today, this is just going to be a one photo page. And since that can kind of be frowned upon, I decided just to touch base real quick and tell you my thoughts about it. Lately, I've noticed that I've just kind of been happy with capturing one good photo, I should say, of an event. Instead of spending all my time taking pictures of 1,000 little things while she was getting her nails done, I took one cute photo that I felt like captured the day and then enjoyed the rest of the day. And so now when I scrapbook this, I feel like this photo is enough. I don't need any more supporting photos. So I just wanted to share that with you. So next time you have just one photo at an event, don't be afraid to scrapbook one photo on a page, because there are going to be plenty of other things that happen where you're going to have plenty of other photos to put on a page. But every once in a while, it's fun to put one photo on a page and have lots of room for cute embellishments. And speaking of cute embellishments, here I am with my stack of goodies that I've gathered up thinking that I might use in this layout. You guys know me that sometimes I don't use it and sometimes I do, but it's just kind of a starting point for me. Kind of gets the brain going, kind of figuring out my color scheme for the layout. And that's just where I'm going to get started with this pink diagonal as my background. I really like how the softness goes with the photo, and I think it'll be a good starting point for this layout. So I wanted to use these fun little embellishments. These are by Crepe Paper, the Pier, and I noticed that it's not printed on the back as to what is in there, so I thought I'd just go through it really quickly and kind of show you a few of the things that are in there. I love these die cuts that are already stitched together for me and layered up. I think those are really cool and neat, and I definitely want to fit those into my layout. You'll notice that they're not exactly the same color scheme that I've started with, but I love adding just splashes of other colors. Even though I'm kind of leaning toward this pink and white and black and white polka dot, adding a little splash of other colors in is what makes it fun. So we're going to jump right into the first prompt, which is going to be to combine stripes and dots. I do not think you can go wrong with pink and white and black and white polka dots. So my first thing here is kind of to decide what size I want that black and white polka dot paper to be at the top. So I went ahead and cut it large. I believe it's 7 inches right now. So that way if I want to take it down a notch, I can trim it down or use the other part. So now we're on to prompt 2 real quick. We're going to use a 2-piece cut file in our title. Just to explain to you real quick how I did this, I just used fonts I had on my computer to make the pretty pedicures and welded that together. And then I got the arrow from the 2-piece cut files and stretched it through the pedicures, and then I welded it together too. So it helps hold everything together. And I wish I could say that I had planned on putting it there in the middle of those 2 papers, but when I laid it down, it just happened to fit perfectly right there. It's just one of those things that happened. So now I'm kind of thinking about where I want to place my photo. If I leave the black and white polka dot large, then it's really not going to fit there at the bottom. So if I leave the black and white polka dot 7 inches, I feel like the photo is going to need to go at the top. So I'm kind of just playing around with things and trying to visualize where I want the photo on the page, where I want these embellishments to be on the page. So I kind of just keep moving things around and trying to get a feel for the page and a vision, I guess, for where it's going to go. So here I think I'm going to decide to go with the smaller section of the black and white polka dot, the 5-inch section. That way it leaves a little bit more of the softer pink paper showing, and I really feel like that's what I want my layout to have, just a little bit of a softer look than if I had more of the black and white. So I'm going to go ahead and get that paper adhered down, and that way I can really start, once that background's stuck down, then I can start concentrating on everything else that's going to go on the page. And here I've got those die cuts that I showed you earlier from Crepe Paper, and I really want to incorporate the gold from the other die cut in. So what I'm going to do is stack those 2 stitch die cuts together and use them on the page together. which leads us directly into our third prompt to go for the gold. I really like the splashes of gold on that die cut up above, so I'm going to bring a few more splashes in. I love this frame here with the metallic gold on it, so I want to figure out a way to use it. It doesn't really fit over my photo. I'd have to trim too much of the photo off, so that's not an option. But what I decided to do was just kind of let it house my journaling or some embellishments on the page. And so that's going to be our fourth prompt, you've been framed. So what I'm going to do, I've got this little piece of vellum that I had left over. It's actually from Elle's Studio. And I'm going to trim it down and adhere it to the back of the frame. So it's kind of going to create a vellum pocket is what I'm going for here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some pop dots underneath this frame, leave it open at the top so I can slide some things in behind it. I find that a delicate liquid glue really works well with these cut titles like this because you can kind of get in there and get those little pieces. I don't feel like I have to adhere every single inch of it down. I kind of like when things float off my page a little bit. So I just kind of put it in the main areas and then kind of let the rest of it kind of pop off the page. I feel like that helps add just a little bit of dimension to the page and makes it look more interesting. I felt like the top up there needed some type of border and I was too lazy to change the thread in my sewing machine, so I decided just to add a little trim of washi tape. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere our die cuts up there on the top too. It was really bothering me how you could see the seam of the two papers there in the middle on the sides of the title. But it didn't look right to put a strip of anything behind the title because you could see it through it. So that didn't really look right to me. So what I decided to do is just cut some little bits of metallic glitter tape and adhere them on the sides there. Just kind of little arrow notch design. And that way it kind of covers up that seam there without going behind the title. Okay, so now I felt like those die cuts up there at the top were kind of floating up there all on their own. So I wanted to do something to connect them to the rest of the page, to kind of bring them down, I guess, a little bit. So I decided to do some spritz drops of gold, and that way it kind of looks like they're raining down from the die cuts onto the rest of the page. And I felt like that kind of connected the rest of the page. And here I've decided that I needed another layer down at the bottom, but I didn't want it to be too contrasting to what I already had. I wanted to stick with the pink. So what I did is I just found a really cute pattern paper, the pink design on it that matched, and I'm going to do the same thing with the gold spritz paint and just pretty much cover it with dots because this paper is going to be covered with photos, so a lot of these will be covered up with the photo in my frame, so a lot of it will be covered up. But also what I like when the paper gets really wet from these drops is that it will kind of curl a little bit. So whenever I adhere it to the page, I just put a little bit of adhesive under it, and that way it kind of curls up off the page a little bit from that moisture. And that adds a nice layer of dimension really easily. So I've gone ahead and adhered down my photo in the frame with some little pop dots, and now I'm going to concentrate on adding those little embellishments that will be kind of the finishing details to the layout. So I found these stickers. This is by Pebbles. It's actually kind of a camping summer themed sticker sheet, but I really liked these little word stickers here, and I felt like they kind of captured the day because the little girls thought it was the most glorious day ever. So I thought that was really cute to add in. And here I've got some more stickers by Pebbles. These are little chalkboard stickers, and they really, the theme ones, like the Hello Friend, all that, didn't really go with my layout, but they had this cute one with just the dots on it, and it filled in that spot down there at the bottom that I needed filled in perfectly. And little tip for those die cut tags, if you punch the hole out, that way it'll look like a real tag and not just a die cut. So I definitely need something over there on the right side of my frame kind of sticking out from there, and I'm going to start with a different texture. I'm going to use this fabric tag by Basic Gray. And then I found this neat kind of, it's not really transparency, it's actually kind of plastic tag. It's by American Crafts. I think it's called the Pie Collection. I don't know, it's Bits, it says Pie. So I'll link it up for you. But I just thought it would be kind of a neat little added layer back there with the tag. And then I'm using some older product that I've been hanging on to for a while. These badges are by Evalicious. They are actually holiday, kind of Christmas themed, but there's one in there that just says date, and it really doesn't look like it's for holidays, so I thought it would be cute up there at the top of my layout. Okay, another little itty bitty embellishment. These little puffy stickers I just love. They remind me of when I was little, I guess, and we had those puffy stickers. I just think they're so cute and they're so itty bitty tiny, and I can't really pass up little red hearts. So I thought this little red heart would be really cute on the page. And when I started out, I put it on the right side of the layout. But once I got it down there and kind of looked, I realized that I had 3 bits of red already on the right side of my layout, up there in the top in the tags, down there on the bottom on that fabric tag, and then if I put that puffy heart there, that's 3 red things there on the right side. So immediately when I did it, it didn't work with my eyes. I did not like it. So I decided that I needed to move the puffy heart over to the left side, and so I just kind of played around with it a little bit, figuring out where it would look best on my title. On the left side. And here I go with that dang spritz paint again. I just felt like I needed a little bit more kind of an edging around this pink pattern paper. And I didn't want to do stitching on it because then that would kind of defeat my purpose of it floating up off the page like it is. So I decided just to kind of paint on some lines around the edge to kind of frame that pattern paper. That would kind of help hold my photo and my embellishments together there at the bottom. And now I'm going to finish up there on the right side. I just got a little tag by Elle Studio and then just a little snippet of some scrap paper that I had laying around. And now we're going to add the journaling to the date at the top, and I'm going to write my journaling on the tag, the die cut tag that's going to go back behind the vellum pocket. And I think that pretty much finishes up my layout for the week. I hope you've enjoyed the video this week and watching this layout come together. It's really been a fun one to do. So we have 4 prompts for you this week. They are to combine stripes and dots on your layout, to use a 2-piece cut file in your title, to go for the gold, and to use a frame on your page other than framing your photo. Don't forget, if you join in on one of these challenges, you can be entered to win a prize from 2Piece. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. This is Shannon Tidwell, Garden Girl at 2Peas in a Bucket. Bye.